Go.
This is Communications 101, informative speech. We currently just filmed with the audience my speech, and we had audio that was missing from the beginning part of it. My audience is now gone, so I'm going to just go ahead and give you the words in this second clip. So, for the first part of the speech. A Russian woman walks into a clinic after crying all night. As she walks through the doors, her eyes begin to water from the decision she just committed to. She asks to speak to the operating doctor. The doctor, who performs this operation regularly, is sympathetic to the 2-month-old pregnant woman. He comforts and consoles her the best that he knows how after being in this going through this operation multiple times. By reviewing this lady's decision, I believe you will gain a true informative understanding of Russia. You will learn much about the geography, population, and economy of Russia. And as we're going through that, in the very middle of where I begin to speak about population, we're going to go over more of why I started out my speech this way. Some of you may know little about Russia. You may know a person who speaks the language, visited or says that they wanted to visit Russia just because Lenin's tomb is there and quite a few other awesome wonders are there. They have what they call Red Square, where the president of Russia lives and quite a few Russian soldiers are outside those gates, and even in the very center is a chopping block where they used to cut people's heads off. And it actually looks like a podium to speak from, but that's definitely not what it is. I have read books and am currently learning the language. I'm going to take you on a journey through the geography, population, and economy. And some of you may not know this, but the geography of it, it's the largest country in the world, and it covers over 6.5 million square miles. It is twice the size of the U.S. And covers at least 2 continents, Europe and Asia. It has quite a few bordering countries, and it even borders the USA by sea and covers 11 different time zones. The climate there can range, because it's the largest country in the world, from Moscow all the way to Siberia. The temperatures can range from January temps from 0 to 50 degrees Celsius, negative 50 degrees Celsius, and on July 1st, on July, it ranges from about 1 to 25 degrees Celsius. It is the coldest country in the world, and the coldest city in the world resides there year-round, and it's Omiakan, and it's about 70 below Celsius. We just looked at geography and some of the things to do with geography, and now I'm going to be moving into the population side of things. The population is 144.7 million people, and about 72% of that is urban population. The ethnicity usually runs that it's about 80% Russian, and covers about 100 other different nationalities, and to include Tatar, or Ukrainian, and Chavash. The population of Russia is currently decreasing, and they attribute that to the death rate to the birth rate. There are currently more deaths taking place than there are births, and the #1 form in Russia of contraception is abortion. So because they have universal health care there, abortion is paid for by the government, and that's how they use contraception. And it is currently decreasing their population, and it's currently affecting their economy. And now I'll tell you a little bit about the economy. The economy there is industries that include mining, machine building, and transportation. Their agriculture includes grain, sugar beets, pretty much a smelly factory in Nampa, as we call it. Sunflower seeds, vegetables, fruits, beef, and milk. Now that we've just looked at the economy, We've just journeyed through present-day Russia. I've talked about how cold and warm it is. I've given you the entire spread on it. I told you that it was the largest country in the world. And I told you about the population of Russia and how the abortion is their #1 form of contraception. The death rate is greater than their birth rate. And the economy, gave you some information about the type of things they have in their agriculture and the industries such as mining and oil that they use. As this woman's there in this doctor's office, and the doctor begins to sympathize with her with the decision that she made, she begins to tell him about how she came from Siberia, Chita, Siberia, Russia, to Moscow, and on her journey, how she endured just the harsh goodness of Russia's countryside. She had to go through, she had to rely on the countryside's agriculture, grain, milk, and beef. And then she also, a lot of times in Russia, they traveled by rail. She also had to rely on other services and industries that she provided, such as the rail. She wasn't able to take a flight and traveled through the bus system. Russia's industry of oil definitely ensured she would make it to Moscow by rail. Now that she's there in this doctor's office, her heart is just pleading with decisions going on in her mind, back and forth, and she then has this thought in her head: should I let the child live, or should I let the child die?